you all for coming out. I know, albeit the sun is not here, I see your smiling faces. That's enough sunshine for me. So thank you all again for being with us this morning. Today is a culmination of all the projects that we have given with our blood, sweat, love, and tears to this area, affectionately known as Ridgewood Barony Association. So thank you all so much. We are very thankful for our neighbors, our partners in all of this and making this happen. We have been here diligently for the past 10 years working within this neighborhood. So again, thank you all for coming. Today we have our news conference and our press release for the Monticello Road Streetscape. It's a wonderful project that has utilized almost $1 million in community development block grant funds. Thank you, HUD. For housing and urban development. That is federal funds that we have utilized within this community. And I say it's $1 million in just the streetscape, but we've also utilized additional funds to the tune of millions with our home community development block grant recovery, neighborhood improvement funds, as well as additional CDBG to do a lot of other projects to include infrastructure, this wonderful park, another park that is an association down the street, as well as other projects and affordable housing and rental. So again, thank you. Thank you for joining us, and I'll turn it over to our illustrious I gave you an upgrade. How about that?
That'll be a downgrade for me.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Councilman. To our Richland County Councilman, Paul Livingston, who is representative for this area. Thank you so much.
Thank you and good morning. I was seriously telling her I wouldn't take that as an upgrade because I love serving on Richland County Council where I'm closer to the people and where I can make a difference every day. What a great day for the Ridgewood Barony Community. I cannot begin to tell you how pleased and honored I am to be here for this extremely special occasion. I can remember it's been that long, 24 years ago, when I became a member of Richland County Council, I had 4 goals in mind that I reinforced over and over and over again. And one of them was education, having left the Richland 1 school board at that time. The other one was community development, law enforcement, and economic development. And they all apply to this very, very important community. And you know, during that time, I remember I was very upset because we were not receiving direct CDBG funding. We had to go and apply to the state because it was based on a population, whereas the city of Columbia was at that given time. So I recall every year, I asked the staff to recount the numbers and send them to make sure we reached that threshold. So I was so happy when we reached that threshold because we knew exactly at that particular time, or we had a good idea of the amount of funding we would receive every year so we can plan ahead. And so that was very helpful for us. And at that time, we did not have a neighborhood community program at the county. So I worked hard to spearhead that and got my colleagues to agree to developing a neighborhood community department in Richland County. And since that time, we've seen great things come out of that department. And during that particular time, I was convinced that in order to make a difference in the community, you need not just simply go into that community and patch one street here, or make one difference in a particular area, build a house here or there. You need to go in and do a complete master plan to make a difference. And my colleagues agreed to that. And because it was my idea, my colleagues agreed to it, I said, well, I got the first place to start. And that was Ridgewood. So that's how we got started with that initiative. I remember bringing my colleagues out through the community, showing them why we need to start here, and they agreed. And I know at that time, it was, many have said, well, boy, we got a lot to do, and over the course of the years, progress was rather slow, and I kept reminding them that it's going to be a slow progress, but we'll get things done. But what made that really easy was the community. I cannot begin to tell you how proud I am of this particular community. I mean, they worked so hard and so diligently on this particular project. They made sure they attended meetings. They kept the community together the whole time. They were involved. I think everyone in the community, didn't have to look up, Ms. Johnson Jennings' phone number. They all had it, logged in or in the brain, because they would call and make sure we were aware of what needs to be done in this particular community. And there were a lot of great leaders. I remember Ms. Hicks, Ms. Johnson, Ms. Grant, and many others who all stayed the course. So I have to just simply say, all the honor really, really goes to this particular community. And sometimes, we forget, I think, how much has been done in this community. We always have to remember sometimes where we started. And I can remember, when I came to this community, one of the biggest concerns was law enforcement. I mean, I would pull through the neighborhood and folks would think, well, he must come to buy some drugs. I'm run to the car and try to sell him some. That's how bad it was. I can remember some of the homes, were just simply inhabited and so forth. So we made tremendous progress in this community, whether it was housing, whether it was roads, community law enforcement, recreation, beautification. But I say that not to say that there's not a lot more to be done, and we plan to continue to try and do a lot more as resources allow us to do so. But to the folks who live in this community, who weathered the storm over the years, you deserve the glory for where we are now. Like I said, I have not worked in a community where I've seen the consistency over 10 to 12 years of folks moving forward and always doing what they can do in the best interest of their community. And sometimes in communities I've seen where the leadership change and the effect of what's happening in the community change. For some reason, y'all got to figure it out. Y'all change leaderships and keep going, and that's wonderful. So again, let me just, on behalf of all my colleagues in Richland County Council, Richland County staff and all, let me thank y'all so very much for what you're doing, and let's make sure we continue to do what we're doing for this great community. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to say good morning to each of you, and I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and make some comments today with reference to the excellent work that has been done here in the Ridgewood Barony Community. It's always a pleasure for us to bring funding, federal funding, back into the state of South Carolina, the city of Columbia, and specifically here in the Ridgewood Barony neighborhoods. I speak from several perspectives. One is that the $1,071,000 is a collaborative effort that has taken place between federal funds, county funds, and city funds that has caused the streetscape and the other additional amenities to be added here in the Ridgewood community. I want to thank Richland County Council. I want to thank Mrs. Valeria Jackson, as well as Ms. Jennings and others who've done such a marvelous job in terms of working together to utilize those funds that are your tax dollars that have been brought back to this community. A lot has happened here in Ridgewood. A lot of great professionals have come out of this area, teachers, ministers, businessmen, businesswomen, politicians, civic leaders, and others. And not only has that happened in the past, it is happening now, and certainly will happen more in the future with the greatness of the investment of what has taken place here in the community. As I said, I speak from several perspectives. One, as currently a federal official that grew up in Ridgewood.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm very proud of the work that is continuously taking place in this community. The church, Ridgewood Missionary Baptist Church, and other churches within this area, a number of the families that I could speak of specifically, who continue to contribute to the well-being of the community. The streetscape work that has been done here will cause future reinvestment in the community, hopefully additional new housing to be built in the future, and continuous investment in our young people so that as we move forward in the state of South Carolina and the city of Columbia, we will see continuous improvements that are taking place here. It's strategically located. You can move from Ridgewood and go straight downtown to the capital city. So that tells you that we must continue to reinvest and invest in the communities like Ridgewood and the Barony neighborhoods to bring about future development here. Again, thank you for this opportunity. Keep up the great work. And I will assure you of one thing, that we will continue at the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development to bring back federal funds to this community and other communities throughout the city of Columbia to make continuous improvements. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Good morning to everyone. And we welcome each of you to this great occasion. 10 years ago, the doors of opportunity swung open when City Councilman Paul Livingston, I want to get it right, Mr. Livingston, was instrumental in securing federal funds to include the Ridgewood community with a formal master plan to see this day that the streetscape and revitalization projects completed. We want to thank you. We give thanks to Mrs. Jocelyn Jennings, who serves as the Community Development Coordinator as well, and the guidance of Blueprint Support that was an asset and is an asset to the community in helping to get things done. After 10 years, we are motivated and we have stimulated others in the community to continue our work, to keep on working in the community and make it one of the best and give the quality of life that we would like to see everyone with. As a lifelong member of the Ridgewood community, I, on behalf of the Ridgewood community, would like to extend a warm and gracious thank you for all the work that has been done and is still going on to help improve our community to make it what it is today. We say thanks to the members of the Neighborhood Association as well. The Vice President now, standing beside me, works diligently and has the good attitude that we can depend on to help whenever there is a need. We have 7 beautification gardens that were established to bring beauty to our area, as well as a vegetable garden, and this is the master plan here. Dr. Adesanya, I want to give him credit. And not only does he work diligently with the community, but he's willing to give vegetables away to the community whenever they are needed or whenever it is in season. We would like to also, and it has been said, I don't want to be repetitive, but it's due, give recognition to the churches in the area, the facilities that we were able to use, and many buildings for use. They were opening their doors to us whenever we needed to go in for meetings or to feed persons who were helping us or to keep the community beautiful. And I'm going to name again Ridgewood Baptist Church. We've had meetings there. Grace Christian Church. We had meetings, and sometimes they would even prepare the food for us, for the persons who were helping. The Agape Church, we had meetings there. Clara Muhammad School, that's right across the street. They opened their doors for us, and their staff even helped to prepare meals and served us whenever we were in the area. Benedict Allen Community Development Corporation was a part of this great plan as well in helping us. Uplift, that is housed at the Holloway House, where we have our meetings now. But pretty soon we won't have to go to the Holloway House. We thank them for all the years that we were able to be there, but we are going to have a building around on Crest and Woodbriar Street that's beautiful, and we are going to be able to have our meetings there as well. We also had our vegetable stands, access to our persons in the community and persons riding back and forth. You see the traffic is continuous. So Mr. Muhammad, I think his name was pronounced, and I don't want to mess it up.
Bilal Muhammad.
Bilal Muhammad. He's deceased now, but the vegetable stand is still up there with his family. We have clean sweeps in the community, and on October 3rd, which is coming up this week, we will have a clean sweep, and we have persons that will come out and help us with our efforts there to help get the neighborhood looking like we want it to look and keep it that way. I just want to end this by saying we thank all of you for your efforts, and we are not taking you out now. We want to keep you in so that the efforts can continue and our community can look beautiful, just like this garden here, this pocket park. That's the way we want it to look, all of the parks that we have, our gardens. We thank you again and again.
Say a few words.
Yes.
Just to add on to our thanks to the county, to Mr. Livingston, to the federal government who's assisted us the most, Ms. Jennings. She began with us in the very beginning and never left us alone. She stays as an encouraging individual and helped to create the partnership that made this possible. The community leadership that Mr. Livingston spoke about, starting with Ms. Inez Hicks, who has now passed, carried on by Ms. Johnson, who's the past president, Ms. Angela Bishop, who's also a past president, and our current president, Reverend Andy Grant. All working together, all communicating, all being supported by the efforts of this 10-year plan. We want to also acknowledge the Benedict CDC for coming in to our community, building new housing. Uplift South Carolina has done rehab housing within its Chodo, developed in the community, that is assisting with housing, rehabilitation, and development. And that's really essential because we have a unique combination of partners here. The county government, the federal government has assisted us with personal connections and information to Ridgewood. But more importantly, we've had a multi-ethnic, multi-religious environment. Masjid al-Salam has been effective in terms of helping to clean up drugs in the neighborhood. Also feeding, working with the community, having community feedings here so we can share those interests with everyone. We have a very open and loving community that Ms. Johnson has presided over, along with many others, so much so that the Sheriff's Department has her on speed dial, and she has them on speed dial. So because we have a collective effort here, we've been able to be successful. And I know that our city councilman, who's right on the edge here, Mr. Sam Davis will be coming there shortly, but the city, the county, the state, the federal government, and the community working in partnership has allowed us to get where we are. We're not through, because we're starting our own 10-year plan that the neighborhood association is evolving to carry on the work that's been accomplished thus far. So we want you, as Ms. Johnson said, we want you to stay with us so we can continue to be successful. Thank you so much, Ms. Johnson. Anything else we got to say?
I think you've said it.
Thank you all.
Quiet for a moment, so I'm trying to hurry and speak. Okay, because all the traffic going down. while Jocelyn's going to come up and give you, under acknowledgments, all the partners that made this happen, I just want to give a special thank you and a special shout out to, first of all, to our county representation here. Thank you, Mr. Harley. Mr. Harley is one of our assistant county administrators. And we also have other staff members here through the PIO department, the planning department. Thank you all for being here, as well as Stacy Colbriff, who was very instrumental in assisting Jocelyn from our public works department. So thank you so much. And again, thank you, neighbors. And thank you for our Lexington County counterparts who came out to help support us in this endeavor today. I do want to bring forward City Councilman Sam Davis for a few remarks. And speaking of collaborations and partnerships, this is truly a partnership between neighborhood, county, and city. The city also, there was a block headed into this area, and with that city block, the city was gracious to give the county $71,000. That doesn't happen every day. So as I bring City Councilman Sam Davis forward to give a few remarks, let's give them a hand clap for that. Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Something tells me I'm on the end, so I will not belabor this. I got a call a couple of years ago from Paul Livingston, and he said he needed some money. And then the neighborhood folks also were just trying to put together the resources to make some things happen, especially on this. Everybody knows that I'm very partial to the corridors in North Columbia because they are the lifeline. They are the invitation to folks coming into this area. And so when Paul asked for some assistance, I said, no problem. Of course, we had to find the money, and we did. Now, I think everything has really been said about how all this came together, and that's indicative of what it takes to help create and maintain the best quality of life that you can have in a community. Neighborhoods are very special. Neighborhoods are really what keeps this capital city together. And so everything that has been said, everybody that has been acknowledged, and maybe some who may not be here, really deserves credit. Our job is to come in and help where we can. But, on behalf of the city, we really do congratulate the efforts that made all of this happen. The only thing that separates what people are calling the city part and the county part is a line. That's all. So that means that the partnership is necessary, and that means that the partnership we think that's necessary is going to happen. And I do attend the neighborhood meetings out here because, again, there's no different. What impacts the folks on one side of that line impacts the folks on the other. So this spot right here, just look at it. It makes a difference. You look across the street, I think everybody can remember that you could not walk on that side of the street. But look at it now. It's a pedestrian, safe path, and that's what it's all about. So we're happy to be a partner in this, but by all means, I think the bulk of the recognition goes to the stick-it-to-itness of the folks who live in this community. And so call on us whenever you can, and I can assure you that we're going to do our part to make sure that what needs to be done will happen. Thank you.
Good morning. There's not much more to be said. I think everyone has been acknowledged here, with the exception of LJ Incorporated, who is one of 2 contractors that made the streetscape possible. They did the work here. They worked with us, and we are very grateful and thankful for the work you did. It's a quality job, and I think the neighborhood is very appreciative to the county. What I'd like to say, I want to acknowledge Mr. Larry Sally of the Benedict Allen CDC. When we first came to Ridgewood, we didn't have any chodos outside of the city to work with. And we went to Benedict Allen, and they said, sure, we'll come on board. We, since then, grew and developed the capacity of another chodo, South Carolina Uplift. They too came. And what is very important about their coming is that they stayed until the job was done. And so as a result, Benedict Allen developed 10 brand new homes in this area. SE Uplift continues to grow their housing stock. I think they are at 5 rental properties that they manage very well here that are available to low to moderate income families. It could not have been done without all of you, Ms. Johnson, you and I just can't say enough about where we are. One of the things that I am most proud of and very happy about, and it's very rare, and that is in 10 years, you have had 3 elections and 3 presidents. And that is unheard of. Presidents stay for 20 and 30 years sometimes. And so you have accomplished much in your leadership. One thing we know for sure is that revitalization projects take 10 years or more. And so at the end of this, thank you to Valeria, my director, my co-workers, who have always been very supportive. I so enjoy working with each of you, and I hope that we can continue to do this. Thanks.